I don't know if you heard, but Oklahoma has had a lot of rain over the last week and a half or so. And Derrell, how's that affecting the cattle?
Well, you know, the rain in general is good for forage production. You know, we've made a lot of progress in wiping out the drought finally. So that's mostly good. Obviously, we've had so much rain and some flooding in some cases. That's sometimes a challenge for cattle to stay out of that. I haven't heard of any real losses from cattle actually being washed away or anything, but there's probably been some problems with that. Probably the bigger challenge with respect to the amount of rain we've had recently is on hay production. In some cases, stored hay has been overcome with floodwaters and will be damaged in terms of quality, or in some cases washed away. And obviously new hay production is very difficult in this kind of weather. The ground is saturated, and so it's very difficult to put up quality hay until we do get a chance actually to dry down a little bit from all the rain we've had.
Let's talk about something we don't usually talk about, the poultry industry. And there's some talk about the avian flu going around right now. Is that going to affect the meat markets?
Well, you know, a lot of folks are watching that. There's been, USDA recently reported about 41 million birds have either died of the disease or have been depopulated as a result of trying to control the disease. That sounds like an awful lot. It's actually not when you think about how many birds are slaughtered. Most of those birds that have been depopulated are laying hens, so the impact has been pretty dramatic in the egg markets. On the meat market side, first of all, we haven't depopulated and won't depopulate under the really worst of circumstances enough to materially affect supply of broilers. What it has done, in fact, though, is closed export markets. So the impact of avian influenza on meat markets is actually a bit counterintuitive in that it's actually increasing domestic supplies. We can't export, and so it's actually putting more poultry meat on the meat markets in the short run here, and so that's actually adding to that situation.
We just passed Memorial Day, and people are going to be getting out grilling. What are the beef prices looking like for them?
Well, USDA released the latest retail meat prices recently, and you know, beef prices continue to push higher. Choice beef was at a record level. The all fresh meat or beef price, excuse me, was a little bit down, less than a penny a pound, and that's because we've got a wider than usual choice select spread right now. Pork prices dropped pretty dramatically because we do have a large increase in pork production this year. Poultry prices were slightly up from a year ago. What's interesting in all of this is that beef prices have remained very strong despite the fact that pork and poultry are relatively cheaper. The ratio of retail beef prices to pork and poultry are at record levels. There's a lot of folks concerned that that can't persist, but in fact, with the limited supply of beef we have, it looks like that will persist for a while, and beef demand for the quantity that's available appears to continue to be very, very strong.
And what does that mean for the cattle producers of Oklahoma?
Well, what it does is help support the, sort of the supply implications here of higher cattle prices. Obviously, those do get passed on to consumers, and that's what's happening with these strong retail prices. So it's sort of the market working as it really needs to until such time as we can increase beef production, and that's quite a few months away from us yet.
Okay, thank you much. Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.